I'm intrigued because looking at your background, your dad, is it true your dad knew nothing about soccer? You would go to the library, you'd read books.
Mm-hmm.
So why soccer? Because you and your brothers all played the game.
Yeah. So, my dad, he's incredible because whatever we wanted to do, he did whatever he could to understand what it is and best prepare us to be good at it. So I say that so general because it didn't matter if it was soccer, music, or a different sport, but particularly with soccer, he put my older brothers in AYSO in Hawthorne, and I was the youngest out of the boys, so I have three older brothers. It was 4 boys, 1 girl, but luckily enough, I started playing at the age of 4. And over the years, I started getting better. He started to coach me, and he created a club team, which I played on until I was about 12. And I was playing up a couple years, and then he was just like, it's time to play your age group. And then I went down to my age group and played with like a better team. But, he used to drive. I remember, I think it was Drive to the Valley. It was a soccer shop in the Valley. And they used to have like DVD cassettes. It was like, German football, Arsenal, Manchester United clips, all these articles and papers of training techniques and all that. And he used to, take his time just analyzing all that information and trying to apply it to us because, he did what any other dad would do, do whatever he could to help his kids become better at the sport that they wanted to play. And over the years, growing up in Southern California, we have a huge Latin population there, so the game just traveled with me, and I loved every bit of it. A bunch of my friends used to play at the parks, vacant tennis courts. We'll play, street soccer, and it was just every single day I just had a ball at my feet and just trying to, grow with the game as I was learning more about the game.
I saw an article where he said, first year Gyasi was picking daisies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then that was it. So what clicked? 'Cause, I mean, picking daisies, you'd have been very, very young. But
yeah, I was 4.
Do you recall there was a moment where this, because obviously you'd have had your eyes open to other sports as well. Do you remember when soccer's my thing?
Yeah. So like that first year, I had no idea what was going on, just out there standing around. I was 4. But the following year, after a year went by, I was trying to keep up with my older brothers while they were playing soccer at home or, around the house. Or so I noticed that next year I started to get better. And then another year went by. And then I started to notice, okay, I'm really getting good at this sport, and my love for the sport and starting to grow. And as years kept going by, I noticed like I had I wouldn't say a special talent, but I just noticed that, I can play this game and go on to try to play professionally because I was watching, English Premier League games with my dad and my brothers every Saturday morning. It used to come on early in the morning because, we're on West Coast time. And, you just fall in love with it and you start dreaming big. I started printing out pictures of Ronaldinho, and I had this guy on my wall, Beckham. It was crazy. And as years was going by, I was like, okay, I can put that lofty goal out there and try to achieve it, and try to reach for it. And sure enough, as I started to get older, more doors started to open.
Is it true your brothers had to go looking for you on occasions because you were playing locally and embarrassing the big boys?
Yeah. There's a park around the corner from my house. It's called Jim Thorpe Park, and that's where we used to play. So it was baseball fields, but in the outfield, adults that used to come home from work, they wouldn't even go home. They'll just go straight to the parks. Kids from high school will go straight to the park. You'll set up 2 trash cans or 2 bags, and you just play soccer. You get put on a random team, and you're just playing. And so I used to find myself out there playing with a couple of my buddies or with, strangers, because soccer is a universal language. A lot of people didn't speak English, but at the same time, we can enjoy the beautiful game in the neighborhood. And sure enough, my brothers or my dad drive by and see me out there, like, hey, come on, and I'll just go home.
You had a chance. Did you trial with a couple of German teams? Was it Freiburg and
Yeah.
and so I mean, I assume it was your local team, but you signed for LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
You had that opportunity to go to Europe.
Yeah.
What was that pull to play for your hometown team?
Yeah, so you know, obviously I played in the Galaxy Academy, and I left to college, and then after college, after a couple years, you know, I went to Germany, and I was on trial at Nuremberg and Freiburg, and both clubs offered me a contract, but at the same time, you know, Galaxy offered me a contract, and you know, it was a tough decision. It was like, do I go play overseas or do I stay home and play? And you know, after talking a lot, you know, with my family, my friends, and some guys that were already professionals, you know, I was just seeking everyone's advice and digesting how I felt about it, and I felt like, you know, Galaxy was the right choice at the time, you know, and it was a good choice because my first year, you know, I played a bunch of games for a rookie to step on the field and get as many games as I did, and then the following year, you know, have an opportunity to become a MLS Cup champion, and not only that, to score. You know, I think it was like one of the first homegrown players to score in an MLS Cup championship game. So it was an exciting choice, and as years gone by, you know, had the opportunity to represent my country and you know, play for my hometown team, which as a kid you're looking up to that. When you're playing in the academy, that's a dream to one day step on the field. You know, at the time it was called StubHub Center, but to step on the field and represent the team that you've been training and working so hard, and I had the opportunity to do that.
And that was amazing because, I mean, well, you're 30 now, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, and we talk about picking up the game as a 4-year-old and your dad and just that passion for the game, and your dad with that, just that drive to make his kids achieve and enjoy whatever sport or whatever passion they took towards. So when you stepped on that field in 2013 against Real Salt Lake, you went on for Jack McBean, who of course was here briefly.
Yeah.
And I've seen images of you that year. There was the Invitational when I played against Juventus. You know, you're going up against Andrea Pirlo.
Yeah.
As a rookie, did you allow yourself in those early years at the Galaxy to think, you know, I was picking daisies.
Yeah.
I was, you know, my dad was having to go to a library. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't the conventional pathway because you came from a family where soccer wasn't the first love. It wasn't the first sport. So.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said, you know, it was a interesting journey, but I felt like it was always meant to be, how everything panned out. And when I was on the field playing against, I mean, we played against, Juventus, Real Madrid. We played against Manchester United, Barcelona. But you know, every time I step out on the field, it's like it's a surreal moment. But at the same time, it's like, hey, I'm a professional just like these guys, and we're on the same field playing the same game. So it's a great opportunity to go out there and enjoy the game. You know, because they were friendlies. They're not competition play. Obviously, you always want to win, but at the same time, that's when the love of soccer comes out. You know, you have fun, having an opportunity to play against, you know, some of the guys you used to look up to, and here it is, you're sharing the same pitch with them, you know, and that's what, as a kid, you dream about, you know, playing against Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, growing up, I supported Manchester United, so being able to play against them, you know, it was just surreal.
And I've seen photos of you with your dad and your family members. I mean, does this make it extra special? You look in the eyes of your dad, and he must be immensely proud. But a big part of where you are now, as we all are, we're all products of our parents. But you know, the sacrifice. He could have just said, "Look, can you just pick a sport I know? Just pick something I."
Yeah.
He took it, and he didn't know where it was going to go. He didn't know. He was just being, as you say, he was being that dad. He's just, you want to play that sport? All right, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
How much? He must be proud of you, but how much are you proud of him as well?
Yeah, you know, so I'm a dad myself, and just looking back on everything my dad has done for me, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for him. When you talk about the sacrifices of time, he used to drive me in LA traffic from Hawthorne all the way to Pasadena, and it's 4:30, you know, prime time LA traffic, going an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours to training. I'll train for about an hour and a half and drive back to Hawthorne and do that like 3 times a week twice a week, and he'll wake up in the morning to go to work. It's just the sacrifices that he made for me to be able to play the beautiful game, and he always used to stress education as well. It's important I get good grades in school, just in case if soccer doesn't work out, you have a backup plan. But everything he did, I look at myself now. I have a son that's playing soccer, and I'm just trying to be the best father I can be, in which my dad showed me. I'm trying to imitate what my dad did for me, and I'm trying to do that for my kids now.
And this is the first time that we've met. It's the first time we've spoken. But everybody, and I know Keith Costigan very well, and I know he was huge in your career. Everybody I've spoken to, and everything that I've read is, forget Gyasi Zardes the player. Is Gyasi Zardes the person? He's honest. He's work ethic. He's hard. He's just a decent, down-to-earth person. How as much as it's important for you to be successful as a player, trophies, I get a sense, because of your dad, it's being a good husband, being a good dad, being a good person is really important.
Yeah.
And that role model, being that role model.
100%. My dad is one of my biggest role models. Just seeing everything he's gone through, raising a family of 5, and all his kids, turn out all right, compared to other people, and not only that, like you said, a lot of my characteristics come from him. He's so welcoming. He welcomes everybody, and I try to do the same. And, he makes light of sometimes situations that other individuals will tend to be more serious or harp on the bad, but he sees the good in so many things. And I think I take that from him, because even if something bad happens in my life or in my situation, I try to see what positive I can take from that. Like, for example, if you lose a game, okay, did you learn something? If you miss a shot, did you learn something that you can do next time to where you make that shot? And that's just a little example, but when it comes to interacting with other people, it's much bigger than just the sport of soccer, because these are people's lives you're talking about. Even our interaction, or if I'm interacting with a younger kid, my philosophy has always been inspiring the next generation of kids growing up. Whether they're soccer players or just normal people, I feel like one interaction could change somebody's life. And I've seen it happen, with my dad, and so I just try to do the same thing.
I've got a couple of quick fire questions from fans, actually. I went
Okay.
on social media yesterday. Rapid Man's Ghost. How attached do you feel to your Ghanaian roots? Bearing in mind you played with, obviously, a handful of Ghanaians at Columbus and now Colorado.
Yeah. So to be honest, I haven't traced back my history. Excuse me. I haven't really traced back. So I'm not sure.
I think we all know the answer. Is the story about the hair true? The hair dye, is it true? And is it your maternal grandmother? Which side of the family?
Yeah, it's my mom's grandmother. She's a huge sports fan. I remember growing up, she'll always have the Laker game on. Always have Dodgers on. Just all LA sports. And when I signed professionally with the Galaxy, they came out to a game, but you remember the vuvuzelas?
Oh, I can tell you some stories about those, yeah.
They used to sell them at the stadium, and people were just blowing in the stands, and, they're older. So they decided to stay at home, but, to make it easier, I was just like, you know what, maybe I'll just dye the mohawk, and it was only supposed to be for a couple games, and here I am today.
It's become your thing.
Look at this. I still have it, and she's still watching. That's the best part. Whenever the games are not, blacked out on the network, she's watching my games still to this day, which is amazing.
Fantastic. What have we got here? Rapids Foreign Legion. What influence on your play, performance on the field? Robbie Keane and Steven Gerrard. How did they impact your career?
Yeah, so for Robbie Keane, I've learned so much from him. He's a finisher. One of the best strikers in the world, and just to watch him on a daily basis. When I look back in my career, and to have the luxury to train with him each and every single day and to learn from him and have him help me and critique some of the angles and the way I shoot, I mean, it transformed my game personally, and I thank him for that, and I try to do the same with some of the younger guys. If we do a finishing drill, I try to do the same like he did to me. And then when it comes to Stevie G, you talk about intensity. during training sessions would carry over to game. He was one of the first players I've ever witnessed. We were doing set pieces, and usually in set pieces, players go easy, take it light, because it's just service. He's making a full run into the box. I'm talking about full speed to get on the end of a ball while we're doing set pieces. And after watching that, that has never left my mind. So whenever we do set pieces, I try to make sure I'm giving it my all, like I'm playing a game, because it'll carry over into a game. But, you know, those are just some things I've learned from, you know, Stevie G and also, you know, Robbie Keane.
Fantastic. We got here one from Montana Mike. What are your expectations with the Rapids, both personally and from a team perspective?
Yeah, so as of now, personally, I'm trying to get acclimated to the team. You know, they've already been playing games together. They're also with the coaching staff, understanding the style of play. So I'm just trying to make sure I digest that information as soon as possible, just so I can step on the field and make a difference. You know, I'm trying to score as many goals as I possibly can, and I'm trying to give it my all defensively as well. You know, I want to make sure I work extremely hard to bring success to this club and organization.
And finally, a degree in criminal justice, is that
Yes,
right? Which
yes.
you completed in 2017?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what was the plan B if soccer didn't work out?
Yeah, so I mean, I graduated high school in 2009, so a couple years, you know, after the stock market crash. So I was just thinking, like, if I pursue professional soccer and if it doesn't work out, I need a job to fall back on. So I went into the criminal justice field. But now, I mean, I don't really see myself doing anything in the criminal justice field. So I'm finishing my coaching B license, and then once I finish that, I'll look at getting my master's in business, and hopefully, you know, do something on the business side after soccer.